September 28, 2025. Guys, quick look at the tropics this morning, 7:52 a.m. Eastern Time update. Tropical depression number 9 is still at 35 miles per hour, but all the models now show it not coming ashore, but following Umberto out. Umberto is a monster, 150 mile per hour sustained winds, and you're just 2 miles below a Cat 5 at that point, 156, 157, you're there. Now, it's moving west-northwest at 13 miles an hour, which is in this direction right now, but both storms are supposed to start to pull out about in this area. We'll take a look at it again. Tropical depression number 9, 35 miles per hour, moving north-northwest at 7 miles an hour. Umberto is at 13, so it is going to pass it as far as moving north, and then it looks like everything will pull out. Now, don't forget, though, you're going to have rip currents along the coastline, storms, things like that, high wind and waves. Now, depending on the size of the storm, Bermuda, you may get a break, but this is really, the cone is not the size. Remember that. It is the possible path between these, and then this is the average. But we're at a major hurricane just under Cat 5 right now. I don't know how the heat of the day will affect that, but Bermuda is sitting right there. Again, moving up in here, still is a hurricane, though, Bermuda, so you're going to definitely have impacts. But again, 155 miles per hour, north-northwest at 13 miles an hour. Now, this is the best part. Again, we're going to get the cooling effect from the warmer ocean waters along the coast, but it does not look like we're going to get an impact. A lot of people were praying not to get one, but maybe you'll get some of the moisture and the cooling effect that you do need. Again, right now we're still at a tropical depression. They're saying in the next probably update, we'll be at a tropical storm. Here's your Bahamas here. Florida coast, you've got tropical storm watches. You've got tropical storm warnings all through the Bahamas in the blue, you've got the blue lines along the island chain. Now, again, pulling right in here. What's going to happen, though, say this, Bermuda, this is going to pass just about right on top of you, according to this model. So you're probably going to get a pretty good side lashing from Umberto, but then as this comes in, looks like pretty much a direct hit. Now, if you look, you've got Tropical Storm Narda in the Pacific Ocean. Keep an eye on that, Hawaii. But right now, what we're looking at is the U.S. rip current risk, and it's showing it here along the Southern California border. Notice that high risk of rip currents. So be aware that we've seen these storms put some pretty big waves up into Southern California. And was it last year or earlier this year, guys, when a couple of hundred people got pulled out? I remember the video. But here along Florida, you've got high risk of rip currents. In the red, moderate, all the way up through South Carolina, right in this area. And then low risk right now along the North Carolina, Virginia shore. I expect this red line to move north as the storms do. But the rip currents, guys, that's going to be the danger on the beach. And let me say this. I saw an article this morning to where, I think it was yesterday afternoon, very close to dark, a gunman pulled off one of the a fisherman boat pulled off one of the piers there in South Carolina that we watched during our hurricane updates. And people fish, they eat there. And a gunman pulled up there in a daggum boat, killed 3 people, wounded 2 more. I think they caught the guy, but they're not releasing any information on it. These random shootings have to come to a stop. I don't know what it's going to take to do it. Right now we're seeing a lot of conflict going on in Chicago, and it's moving into Portland. But it looks like it's going to have to happen. They want it to happen, even though they say they don't. They want the conflict. And this was just updated 14 minutes ago, and all the models now are turning almost about the same place, maybe 100 miles or so difference in this particular pattern. But even this, as far as Bermuda, notice this updated line. The Navy is saying you're going to get a pretty direct scraping right through there. But anyway, this is going to be a smaller storm than Umberto. Get through that first. But northern Bahamas, you're all going to be in this area of either tropical storm or turning into a Cat 1, which all of that's going to affect Florida's east coast. But this is really good news as far as impact and onshore damage. And guys, we've got another beautiful fall day setting up here. It is right now 67 degrees at 9:16 a.m. Central Time. And humidity's up, but that is fine with me right there. Anyway, here's what we got. You got a little bit of low pressure trying to set up in the Gulf of America. But here is Tropical Depression number 9. It's just having a hard time wrapping up, but I think it's because of island after island. But out here, you got a 155-mile-per-hour hurricane, guys, and that is nothing to play with. This front that we're seeing capture all this moisture as it's throwing off, as a tropical storm or depression number 9, it's throwing this moisture off. It's being caught up into the same system that's going to help these two storms move off into the Atlantic. Very beautiful, clear day here. I saw you guys in Arizona a few days ago, I think in the Phoenix area, or was it Globe, Arizona, got some pretty good flooding a few days ago, but I guess it's that season. Now looking at the infrared, you can see your clouds are very close to the coastline now, guys. You're starting to get a little heavier moisture down in this area, so all of this is going to pick up and continue. Here's kind of the central section of the storm. Perfect eye almost right here on Humberto. A little bit of moisture over New Mexico. Again, some out into the Gulf. So just get ready for a windy weekend along the coast, some wet thunderstorms. Maybe you need that moisture, but do not let your kids into the surf. And you grown-ups that think you're kids, don't get into the surf with this type of action out into the Atlantic Ocean. Very interesting, guys, to look at this thing wobble just a little bit. But right here, I'm centered on Bermuda. And that's going to be the impact for both storms. So you guys in Bermuda, I'm sure you're used to the situation, but you need to hunker down and be ready. You guys on the East Coast, don't make any dumb mistakes like getting out in a small craft warning area, anything like that. That water does not play and it does not have a conscience. It will take you very quickly. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.